Hey friends, welcome back to Cozy with Calinnah, where I dive into my journey as an independent artist, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I also connect with creatives who are multi-hyphenates, dreamers, and doers. Don't forget to watch a new episode every Thursday. My next guest is the definition of a multi-hyphenate creative. She's a muralist, a musician, and the founder of Baked Papaya. From singing backup to forming her own band, Asi Fui, she's living proof that following your gut and your art can lead you to beautiful, magical places. Welcome, Tati Velazquez.
Thank you. That was a very sweet intro.
Yeah, of course, of
You're
course.
A little bit.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's so funny because we were just talking about how I met you, which is wild. I bought some pieces from you at what was it, a
Long Beach
Art Walk?
Yeah. Years ago.
Yeah, years pandemic, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
when like things started opening up again.
Yeah, that's wild. And then Vanessa came here, and then she saw some of the pieces that you have, and then she's like, "Oh, that's my friend's line," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I think I just met you at like a random party or something, like
Sounds
local.
like Long Beach.
Yeah, sounds like
sure.
Long Beach, right? So happy to have you here. How did your journey in music begin?
Oof.
Let's talk about that.
Loaded question. No. Seriously, when I started taking music seriously, it was in my 20s when I first moved to Long Beach, and Long Beach has such a prominent music scene. I was actually interning at a music label and I was going to a ton of shows.
Oh, wow.
And then someone who worked there lived in Long Beach, so I would give them rides all the time. And then I made friends with one of my best friends, Jenny Jensen, and Ike Owens was actually one of my very first friends that I met out here, and then just loved Long Beach so much, and that was almost 20 years ago.
Dang.
Was 20 years ago, actually. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Long Beach has a nice touch to it. You know what I mean? It's friendly and like welcoming. So
yes, indeed.
We love Long Beach.
Yeah.
Your voice has such a rich, soulful tone. Who were some of your earliest influences?
Earliest influences, I have to say the obvious ones for me, which would be Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson.
Hey.
Like, you know, all these great soul singers, Al Green, Bill Withers, the Beatles. I mean, my family's Cuban, so I grew up listening to Celia Cruz. So, yeah, a wide variety of influences, which is why it's probably difficult to narrow down, like, what the band's music sounds like. Because in addition to my wide range of interests in music, like the bandmates all have a wide range of interests as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But soul is at the heart.
Soul is definitely at the heart. Yeah. Soul and like art for myself, soul, R&B. Yeah.
Speaking my language, girl.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I loved Mariah Carey. Like I would practice her runs like over and over again, but like, or I would try like the lower octave in her, because she had such a freaking range. I was like, this is insane. Like, one of the greats for sure.
Indeed. In 4th grade, I actually sang Hero in front of my whole school.
Wow, that's a big song.
And I took my little jukebox out with the CD and put it down on the stage. I pressed play. First run, it started skipping.
Oh no!
Yeah, I just tried again and sang along to the track.
Wow!
And yeah, in hindsight, I was a little embarrassed. That's how I think started getting like stage fright, because I was very outgoing as a kid, and then like, you know, into my teenage years, I started kind of clamming up with singing in front of people. So that's why like when I moved to Long Beach and started like being around the scene. I was like, I just love music so much, and started playing again and playing bass, and I had a drum set and just jamming with friends, and didn't really take it too seriously, but
just having fun.
Yeah. And then I just kept doing it, and eventually got to starting a band, which also was not on purpose. But
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I suffered from stage fright too. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, still now,
Yeah.
I would say. But it's gotten better
Yeah, for
with
sure.
practice and just like, even if you are, it eventually like kind of it wears off
Yeah.
at some point in the set. You know what I mean?
I'm always so anxious the day of a show. Like I can't just
Same.
like chill out. I got to stay really busy because my nerves are just I'm just really anxious up until like we start playing the first song and then it all goes away. I just kind of like black out and just
Yeah.
perform
Yeah. Right. Right.
and then it's over and then you're like, "Oh, that was a really good time." You
Yeah,
know?
like I black like my very first live band with a band and dancers and all that stuff. Um, I did not know what was happening until probably the third song. I was like, I don't, and it's like kind of interesting because like I practice a lot, you know, and I feel like for this kind of show because there's just a lot that has to be like dynamic, you know, like
Right.
there's dynamic parts and the dance moves and you know, so it's like kind of a muscle memory. But thank God, like muscle memory is there because during that time I'm like singing and I'm like. It's kind of like a outer body experience
Yeah.
where you're kind of like thinking like a thought like wait, what's the next line? As you're singing, like live?
It's a weird thing.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know how to explain it, but somehow we get through it and you're just like, "Oh, yeah, didn't even
Yeah.
like really in I mean, I don't know. Obviously you put intention into it, but didn't like I don't know. You just kind of like zone out and
Yeah,
still
zoning
do it.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we share that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
indeed.
am I the only one who thinks like this?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay, okay.
Maybe that's a way of coping because we have stage
Mm,
fright that we're just like
mm.
can't be here, can't, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like also just projection also like, you know, at least for me, I think like as a dancer, I had to learn a lot of projecting on the stage. Like if you fuck up, like maybe like fuck up more on purpose, like as you're doing it,
Yeah.
because then it was like on purpose to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
messed
like
up on purpose.
right,
So.
like you know, yeah, like like no one would ever know if like you
No
played
one
it
is
off,
ever gonna
right?
know.
And
No
I
one's
feel
ever
like
gonna know.
yeah, no one ever
No.
freaking knows. Only
Yeah.
you know. Like I after every show, I'm like, there were 6 mistakes in
Oh
this.
yeah. Definitely
I was like,
keeping count.
right. You know, it's just like kind of interesting, like how I do the math as as I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and Asi Fui,
Yes.
where did the name come from? And how, oh yeah, let's start with that. Where
So
did
the
name
name, oh, okay.
Mhm.
The name, we were trying to figure out a band name. We named ourselves IO after our friend Ike Owens, who passed
Oh,
away. That's how like we actually united and began the band. Was when he passed away, we all started kind of hanging out and started jamming, and then one thing led to the other. We became a band, and then we named it IO as for Ike Owens, and also like the power. When you turn something on and off, it says IO. So it was like a double meaning there. And then a bunch of bands I guess are named IO too, so it was a little more
okay.
difficult to like narrow it down.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, all right, we're gonna change the name, and I had this tattoo already on my arm. It says Asi Fui. It's actually what my grandmother wrote on her photographs of her youth. And
Oh my god.
and already in her old age, she was like, reminiscing and going through photos. So she would write, this is what I was wearing. This is where I was going. Asi Fui, and Asi Fui means this is how I was. So she would sign off with Asi
that
Fui.
is so deep and wholesome at the same time.
Yes.
That's
yes.
beautiful.
And it was not even my idea to name the band that. So that made it easier that they found it sentimental also.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
meant to be then.
It was meant to be. A lot of I swear, like a lot of this whole journey with specifically this band like has been, I don't want to say effortless, but it's just been, we just like follow where it wants to take us. And
right.
10 years later, we're still playing together and consistently writing songs and
Yeah.
playing shows and just making music. And I love it. I
That's
really love it.
awesome. I really want to go to one of your shows.
Yes,
I
please
was
do.
I was listening to your music the
Sweet.
other day, and I saw there was one with like breakfast.
Breakfast in a Vortex.
Yeah, and then there was another one. Started with I think a W.
Whirlwind.
Uh,
What's the best that can happen?
Yeah. That one.
Like a real upbeat, happy one.
Yeah, that
All
one.
right,
I like that one a lot.
Yeah,
So
that's our like happiest song ever.
Ah.
All the songs in the very beginning of Asi
Uh-huh.
Fui were not happy songs. They were all very
interesting.
like we were talking about earlier. Like they were
Yeah.
very like heavy-hearted and
Yeah.
more emotional and you know.
Yeah, I write a lot of
Different place.
Yeah. I also write a lot of sad songs.
The best art
for all
comes
the
from that.
saddies out
Yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's so cool. And do you write mostly the songs like?
We write all together.
Everybody-
Yeah, we get together and one person starts playing, the others just join in, and then I start, you know, making sounds, and you know, then
Wow.
a song happens.
And how is that process? So you all write and then you just kind of jam?
Yeah, yeah. We really love just jamming together, and we
Wow.
like to usually start if we can. If we don't have like a rehearsal, like that we really need to rehearse for a show, we like to just spend time jamming and seeing what comes out. Like yesterday, we're trying to finish our record, and we have the set songs that we're working on. And yesterday we were supposed to be doing that, and someone starts playing something, and we all can't help it.
yeah.
So we all join in, and we ended up writing something new for the record. So
Hey.
so that's just how it happens. You can't
Yeah.
like escape it. You just gotta run with it, and that's how
Right.
we've always done it.
And do you jam like every week?
We've consistently gotten together as a band at least twice a week for the 10 years, pretty much.
Wow, that's amazing.
Except for a little chunk during the pandemic.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as soon as we could, we were wearing masks at rehearsal.
Wow. Dang.
I know. And I've never had anything this consistent in my life. So it's like,
Wow.
I don't know how we just have really good chemistry, and we all love each other very much. So
that's so important to have
Yeah.
good chemistry because you need to have the vibe in the room.
Right.
Even if you're all like sad or something, like you're all
Yeah.
feeling the same emotion, and then it just translates in your music.
yeah,
know?
I mean, even if someone's sad, you go to rehearsal, like you're gonna feel so great by the end of it, just because like
Right.
we just uplift each other in that way. Like,
Right.
it's never a bad time at rehearsal. I never don't want to go to rehearsal.
Right,
You know?
right.
Like, I always want to be there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I definitely want to like practice that muscle more. And like, I feel like, just like learning different skills kind of can take away from other things, but it also like helps you grow,
Yeah.
like this podcast.
Yeah.
This podcast.
You never know where that will lead you to.
Yeah. You never know, but I just felt like I wanted to take that leap into this and into the unknown and like
Yeah.
try something new or just run with it,
Yes.
and whatever comes out of it will come out of it. And
Yeah.
I think nothing ever has to be so like set. I feel like you could always leave room to open yourself up to like trying new things,
100%.
and then like allowing yourself to be like, maybe this will be like the more of the main thing.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little space.
And even
we
just
don't
for that
know.
time being, like I've always treated any creative outlet that I do like that is just follow where it's taking you, and then once
Yeah.
you're not feeling it or it's not really taking you there, and you find yourself gravitating towards something else, like go that way.
Right.
You never know.
You never know.
And
that's
just live your life. Like, have fun with
Exactly.
it, make art.
that's the beauty of it. Just
Yeah.
being creative and like being open
Yes.
leads to creativity,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I love
Nice.
it. It's the best thing
It's
ever.
the best. So fun. Oh, and let's talk about Baked Papaya.
Mm-hmm.
How did that brand come to be, and how do you come up with concepts for your products?
I've just always loved making art and painting. Even since I was a kid, I always had my my stationery and my pens and markers and stuff,
Mm.
and always writing and um, but Baked Papaya specifically, um, around 2018, I wanted to come up with some kind of moniker because I was starting to like do some murals and
Mm.
go a certain way with my art, which over many years um, started becoming like these oracles that I paint. I call them oracles. They're these like three-eyed beings. That is a
Mm.
common theme in my art. But yeah, so I got to paint a few murals and did some street art over the years. And um, during the pandemic, started, being on lockdown, started making resin works and fun ashtrays and stuff.
Yes.
Um,
I got one of those.
yeah. Um, and like putting my art on tapestries and just like posting it on social media and people wanting to buy it. I was like, oh, okay. So
Sick.
this is fun, like to like actually
Yeah.
make a little money off the art that you make all the time anyways.
Right.
So as soon as things started opening up again, I started popping up, vending all that stuff, and
Mm.
I still do till this day.
Wow. And you're
Yeah.
at Smorgasburg too?
Smorgasburg every Sunday, yes.
Ooh, check her out, y'all.
Yeah.
Or how does your art practice influence your music or vice versa?
Hmm. Well, I feel more with like when we're playing music, more visuals come into my head,
Mm.
and I think uh, I get a lot of ideas from music more than music ideas from the art. And when we're like
Interesting.
initially writing songs, I'm always like telling the guys, "Oh, the music video would be cool if we did this and this and this."
Right.
And then over time, like it develops, and I'll end up making music videos for us, and so that becomes an art from the music, I guess, if anything, but not really so
Wow.
much like directly painting, like. But
Mm.
yeah,
And do you like direct
I do.
your
Yes.
videos? Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I love having like the vision or like choosing the song for the music video.
Yeah.
And then you just start visualizing like, a feeling of like
Yeah.
what the song is and kind of how you want to execute that.
Totally.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. I love it.
I really like um having the direction for the music videos and then being part of the editing process.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm learning, I really like the editing process.
I'm learning to like editing a lot more now too.
Yeah.
I have to do a lot of editing for work, so like I've learned to really enjoy it and just have fun with it and play with it, and
Right.
yeah.
And you work in social media also.
Mhm. Yeah.
She does it all, y'all. She does it all.
I
The
just
list
ride
is
the
endless.
wave.
That's really awesome though.
Yeah.
That's cool. You have to. I feel like
Yeah.
you have to release that in different avenues of
Yeah.
your life.
I don't know any other way than
Yeah.
to like do things in some kind of creative way. Otherwise, it's like no
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I will not.
It makes life like beautiful.
It
and
does.
More I feel like I'm more thankful for
Oh yeah.
having the opportunity to like incorporate these things in
Yes.
in life, even in like my day job or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like working on editing on my breaks because I'm
Yeah.
like, would I rather like, just go on social media and doom scroll, or like maybe I should like focus on
productive.
editing and not be productive
Yeah.
and then like have more time to play and like hang out with
Yep.
friends and all that stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just trying to also utilize my time a little bit better these
Yes.
days because
Yes.
time is so precious and
Yep.
we don't always have a lot
Right.
of time.
Taking advantage of your time is a big thing. Like just
Yeah.
I don't know. If you have time to do something, you might as well do something.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. And you've been in Asi Fui for 10 years now.
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
It's
And
crazy.
what's the best thing that's happened from trusting your timing?
We never were trying to have a band. Like
Mm.
I never in my life thought like I'm going to make a band. It just really all unfolded naturally. I don't know how to explain it. Like everything just unfolded, and I'm just so grateful to still be a part of this project 10 years later. Like, it's,
Wow.
and it's true. Like, being in a band is really like being in a marriage, and like,
Yeah.
you gotta really enjoy being around the people that you're playing with,
Totally.
and they take me very seriously, and that might be one of the reasons why I'm especially so grateful. You know, especially like they're all dudes, and as a woman, they, you know,
Yeah.
they
They trust your
they
vision
do.
and your input.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
important, especially right now in this climate,
right.
you know, super important. So, um, as artists,
Hmm.
we all know burnout is a real thing. What keeps you grounded when creative burnout hits?
When I burn out on one thing, I'll just focus on something else. I try not to
Mm,
be like, burned out, like I have to put something out. Like, I'm just gonna go somewhere else and do something else. And whether it's, you know, if I'm not making music, I'll go paint. If I'm not painting, I'll cook, you know, like, or
yeah.
just, um, I don't know, just there's always something, some way to live your life creatively, and just like finding whatever that is
Hmm.
and whatever you're vibing with at that time. That's how I like to do it.
Do you feel like you follow your gut a lot?
Always, yes.
Wow.
Always, always. Yeah.
Dang, I need to practice that more sometimes, you know?
I think also it's just most important just to not like, oh, I can't write a song right now. Like, not be hard
Mm.
on yourself when you're
Mm.
not able to get something out. When you are burned out on something, is just, okay, well, not going to be doing that right now. Let's not worry about it. Let's just focus over here now and
Right.
see what does work, you know?
Right. Trying not to like sit on it for too long.
Yeah. And even
Yeah.
still, yeah,
Not putting that added
yeah.
pressure on yourself
There's
for,
no
you know.
reason to be rushing through anything or forcing anything.
Mm.
If you're not
Mm.
vibing with a moment or a person or whatever, like, there's no reason to force it. Like,
Mm.
hmm
I'm learning so
how I
much
feel.
lessons, life lessons. Any tips for artists balancing passion projects with the business side of things?
Oh,
Yeah, because you have your own business, right?
right.
And
Oh, so the business side of like how you actually your day job and stuff, not the business side of art.
I guess both, right? Because I think your business is your art, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess like separating because like administrative stuff is like not the easiest for artists. You know what I mean?
yeah. It sucks.
Yeah, you
I
know.
hate it.
I think like if I didn't have like corporate jobs like throughout, I mean, I've had multiple different random fucking jobs.
Hmm.
But out of the corporate ones, it's like definitely taught me a lot about structure that I feel like I try to use in some of the things I do on the business side of like the
Right.
art. Because if there's no structure, like then I would just be doing it whenever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it kind of keeps me in check, like, oh, maybe like have a deadline.
Yes.
You know, create these deadlines for yourself,
Yeah.
or like do you practice any stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess also, like, you know, whether it's with work or any experiences in life, like, what can you learn from those things and apply it to the things you're pursuing?
Right, right.
Like,
In your own way, right?
in
Like the
your own
things that
way.
you like the
Yeah.
most from those things. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
practice all of those things, but
Right.
you know, some
That are helpful for your art.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I think I like observing how like systems work too, because it's like how do you make this like a smooth running machine?
Mm-hmm.
Like every business, right, has like the way if you understand how it kind of works, you know, maybe you could figure out how to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Where you could thrive like at your best.
Yeah.
Instead of like doing it however you think other people do it. You know what I mean?
That's chasing it at that point. If you're
Right.
trying to do it how you think other people are doing it, you're chasing something that you think it is instead of just doing it how it naturally comes to you, you know?
Right.
But also, like, staying organized is very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think like because when I'm not organized, then I feel like oh shit, like I'm rushing now to like do this
Yeah,
deadline, and
that's
like
not fun.
it's not fun at all.
Yeah.
And then I get stressed, and then I'm not like having a lot of sleep, and yeah, so it's like I'm still figuring a lot of
Yeah.
systems out to like become better or just to make it easier on myself, because like there's just so much uh so many hours. There's only so many hours in the day, and then if you don't have all the time,
Yeah.
then you have to really utilize that little of time that you have left
Yep.
to create whatever the the final result is, the
Right.
project, the EP, the whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And also when you're doing everything yourself, like you got to make
yeah,
sure you're on top of every little bit
yeah, and I
and make
feel
sure your bases are covered.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely struggle with that because I do a lot of things.
Mhm.
I mean, mainly, being an independent artist, it's like you want to, obviously you want to, if you had the budget, like pay someone to do this work so you can focus more on your craft and
Right.
like work more on music. I can see why people have these big teams to have this big production,
Right.
because it really takes a village to like make something seamless.
Right. I wish I had a big team sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so
It'd be really nice.
right. Or at least like if you can't have the big team,
Yeah.
knowing like what's your weakest area and having maybe someone do that so that it's not as consuming
Yeah.
mentally
Yeah.
and time wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah.
little by little growing in that aspect of like having a little bit of help. Just like I was telling you, we shot a video last week and it was like it wasn't a big team at all, but it was like the most people that I've had
Right.
help.
Yeah.
And I'm not great at delegating because I'm just used to doing everything myself, but it was like,
I love delegating.
oh yeah, girl, give me some tips
I
because
love
I'm
it.
so bad at I don't like telling people what to do. I'm just like, figure it out, just take care of your business, and that way I don't have to worry about you. But
Right.
not everyone works that way. So
Right, right. I think like it's interesting because like nursing has definitely taught me about delegating
Oh.
and like just honing in like tunnel vision, because you have to really think about, like, let's say you're in the ER, right?
Mhm.
And you have like 6 patients. This sounds like a nursing question. Anyway,
This is wild. I'm
this,
really
this
interested
is
in
like how
this.
the nursing brain works, because you have to use like um oh my god, I'm blanking out. Critical thinking,
Yeah.
right? You have to use critical thinking in everything you do because it's like life or death, right? And then so you have 5 patients. There's something wrong with this patient. There's something wrong with everybody. Everybody is here for a reason,
Right.
right? Which one is like the highest priority of who needs to be seen first? You know how you're like in the ER for like hours and hours, and you're like, I was waiting here for 5. That's because they have to prioritize also.
Oh.
I don't think a lot of people realize that.
It's not just like who is
Right.
next in line.
Right. Like if
Right.
someone can't breathe over someone who came in with a broken arm,
Yeah.
depending on the severity of each, like, you have to like take into consideration a lot of other factors. But in simple terms, who are you going to treat first?
Yeah.
Because who's going to basically, you don't want someone to pass first, right? So that's kind of like the mindset of you have to have a little bit of knowledge to like assess the situation and then make the best choice for who needs to be seen first.
Yeah.
So in that same way, I've been like thinking like, okay, maybe I can like utilize this in like my artistry and like, okay, what are the things that I want to accomplish? And then like out of those things, what's the highest priority? What do I really want to dedicate? And what will bring me back whatever, I want out of this? Like, is it the message? Is it financial? Is it whatever? Like, to like feel like this is kind of all working in your favor too. Like, you don't
Right.
want to burn yourself out also.
Yeah.
You want to have a good balance.
Don't die.
Yeah, you don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die. Anyway, I feel like this is how my brain, it's like, da, 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 you know what I mean? And so, like, I think I've shared a lot. But
I love it.
yeah, that's kind of like, I feel like how I am translating, like, those critical things for, like the art, but also allowing for, like, fun and
Yeah.
play and like unlearning that it doesn't have to be so serious.
Right.
You can have like a little bit of structure from that instead of so constricted, right? and then but have enough room to like grow and like allow for things to happen and to let
Yeah.
go. So it's just kind of like interesting. I was creative. I did like the healthcare and critical thinking, and then now I'm going back into the creative. So it's like finding a good like push and pull because this is still my day job,
Right.
and then I now have to like kind of switch to like okay, like let's just sit here.
Yeah.
Let's just think or not think.
Yeah. Or
Let's
not
not
think.
think.
That's just
Let's
as important.
right to
Yeah.
just sit here, just have fun, you know, and let's not be so serious
Yeah.
and make art,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, that was a lot. That was a lot.
I love
What's something you're currently exploring or experimenting in your art or music that feels exciting? Is there something new that you're trying out right now?
I guess the first thing that comes to mind is um, I was playing bass most of these years with the band, and all of these new songs I don't play bass on at all. So that
Wait,
frees me up.
how many instruments do you play?
Well, for the band,
Or I mean,
uh,
I guess in general. Well,
uh,
yeah, both. Maybe band first.
well, I play bass, keyboards, and I sing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll play melodica on some stuff.
Oh,
Um, and then like I like to noodle on the drums any chance I get. But
cool.
I'm not like a drummer. I don't even
Yeah,
consider myself a bassist or even
really.
like, yeah, because I just like to, write songs
Mm.
but so yeah. What was the
Oh,
question?
oh, oh. So a lot of your songs are not with
Oh,
a bass. So are you
right.
trying anything new? Yeah.
So the reason it's new is because it frees me up to focus on my vocals a lot more. So I feel like I'm able to do so much more. I'm way better at
Mm.
like playing keyboards and singing at the same time than playing bass and singing.
It's hard to
It's
sing an
hard.
instrument and or
Yeah.
to sing an instrument, to play an instrument and
Yeah.
sing at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, now with Vince playing more bass in our band, that frees me up to sing a lot more and play more keyboards. And I
Mm.
feel like our songs are just at a different level than they've been all these years. So I'm
Mm.
excited.
Well,
It's
I'm
been my
excited to
secret
hear.
plan this whole time.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, and now
Yes.
let's turn to some rapid fire questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I thought you were going to say, now you're going to rap. I was
No,
like,
no.
oh,
You're like,
not
yo,
ready.
New York in the
So
house.
bad.
Um,
ODB.
Yes, yes. ODB.
That was a Mariah Carey reference
Yes.
for anyone who
Duh. For those real ones who get it, okay? All right. Would you rather shoot a music video with no budget and have full creative control, or a huge budget with no input?
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to try a huge budget with no input, but I love the creative process of making a music video with no budget because most of the time it's no budget. All of
Right,
our
right,
videos.
right.
So,
And then I think it like pushes you to like come up with different creative ways of how to like
Oh,
get
yeah.
this certain effect or whatever, or even if
Yeah.
it's just simple, like
yeah.
utilizing the resources that you have.
Yeah.
Like I'm editing my music video that's coming out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The next song that I have. So that's gonna be like next month that I'm
Nice.
releasing a new song. Sorry, we don't have to
Nice.
talk about me, but anyway, it's just the music video has been cool because it was just like different shots in here.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Make with what you got.
make with
I'm
what you
all
got.
about
I was
that.
like, let's try this out. Like, you know how it's like
Yep.
a challenge. Like,
Oh, for
how can I
sure.
make a music video like in
What can I do with absolutely nothing?
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I pretty much
Yeah.
try to do all the videos. I plan them with literally the very least we can do.
uh-huh.
And with the little that we have, that's why you'll see in a lot of our videos that like we make a lot of the stuff or we're using parts of town or,
Right.
our own homes or, very few actors
Yeah,
or, yeah. So just making with whatever we have.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next,
Yes.
your favorite local coffee or tea spot in Long Beach.
Oh, that is really tough. Lately,
Ooh.
Coffee Drunk has
Ooh,
been
yeah.
my jam. I really love Coffee Drunk, but I also love Rose Park. I love
Yeah.
Gusto.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
All great spots.
I love coffee, really.
coffee is great.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know how there's some people I know who don't drink coffee and I'm like, "Ooh, I wish I had that much energy."
Yeah, there's no
Mm,
way.
no
Yeah,
way.
it puts the pep in my step.
It really does. Thank you, coffee.
But I do make it at home a lot too, just to save
Oh. Yeah.
as much as I can.
Yeah,
But
coffee
yeah,
can be very expensive,
yeah,
especially in this day and age. Everything
yep.
is so expensive. Stop
It is.
it.
I know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's see. Paintbrush, base, or resin mold. What's
Hmm.
your weapon of choice this week?
Um, Definitely not resin mold. I have
Right.
not been doing that as
Okay.
much.
COVID.
I was noodling with paintbrush yesterday. Nothing too crazy
Mm.
came about it. And base, I mean, not lately either. I would
Mm.
say more singing, more
More
singing
singing.
lately.
Okay,
Yeah,
singing. Okay, I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
Just really trying to focus on more of that
The
and
vocals.
yeah,
The
working on
your
vocals.
your voice is your instrument, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Beautiful. And lastly,
yes.
what would your inner child say about you right now?
Aw. I don't know. She would be like, "You go, girl." Just
Hey.
because I feel like I really haven't changed much since I was a little kid. I mean, I dress
Wow.
like a child sometimes. I act like a child. My humor is like a child. But
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I just want to be a kid forever, really.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's always important to like remember who you were like at age what I forgot the development stage, but it was like I want to say like 4 to 7.
Yeah.
4 to 7 is when you're like your truest
Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
And I think it's just remembering, right? I think you always know in the back of your head like who you are, but sometimes society
Yeah. Pushes and pulls you.
pushes and pulls you, and it's not really a true reflection of how you actually feel.
Right.
So it's always important to come back to that and
Yeah.
to be yourself and to trust that inner child.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think she'd be stoked because, you know, I was singing my En Vogue and Mariah
Hold
Carey
on
back.
to your love.
You've got to hold on.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well said.
thanks.
Well, just to end it on that note, anything you want to promote?
Promote. I don't really have anything to promote right now,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
in the fall
Hey.
we will be dropping a new album, and we're actually signing, but I don't know if I can say to who yet. But
Amazing. That's
it's our after 10 years, our first time.
wow. Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. The people are amazing. I can't wait to share, and I just feel like it's right,
Yeah.
and it's about time.
Yeah, timing. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just about having patience. You know
Yeah.
what I mean with things and seeing it through. Because then it's really like you love it if you like let it see through.
Yeah.
10 years, like I always hear, like 10 years is always like when you kind of like have that like break or like
Yeah?
that I don't know
That'd be
like
sweet.
like I'm like perfect.
Let's go.
Let's do this thing.
Oh.
But like I think a comedian said like a comedian gets his big break like after 10 years because you're like studying the game, you're understanding how it works.
Yeah.
And maybe some may have may like get there faster or whatever, but Like you're really just figuring out you as an artist, how things work, your music, how
Mhm.
people react to it, and only with time can you really like figure that out sometimes. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking like how long I've been doing this and I'm like, "Oh, this is interesting." Like the live band music stuff probably only for 2.5 years.
Mhm.
But like I had an EP like 5 years ago. I was like doing the math. I'm like, oh, like like things and then like life in between. And you
Yeah.
don't really realize like how much life is lifing.
Yeah. You got to just trust that
And you just
process.
have to trust it. And if it's like always the constant in your
Yeah.
life, then maybe there's something there after that
Yeah.
10th, I don't know, 10th
I've
year or
always
whatever.
thought like I've always tried to enjoy the progression of things, even if it's a slow progression,
Mm,
because if anything, it'll be worthwhile at the end. And if not, you're
right.
enjoying that progression anyways,
Right.
more than like, oh my God, we hit it big on our first album and
Right.
it was all downhill from there because,
Right.
it's
Right.
just like
Yeah. And
go, go,
I
go.
don't
It's
know
like
if I,
marrying your first boyfriend or something. It's
right,
like,
right, right,
don't do
right,
that.
right, right. Exactly. Try a few.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find you on socials?
You can find the band at Asi Fui, ASIFUI, and my art at Baked Papaya.
Hey, perfect. Thank you so much for being on this
Thank you.
podcast.
That was
Love
awesome.
it.
Yay.
Yay. Hey, friends, thank you guys for watching that last episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can see more episodes next Thursday on
Cozy
Cozy
with
with
Calinnah.
Calinnah. Bye.
Woo!
You
Woo!
win. Cheers. Cheers.